Non-fungible tokens, those Bored Apes and those CryptoPunks that you're seeing are already on Twitter in the form of those hexagons. It's been incorporated into that platform, but apparently they're going to be headed to Instagram soon as well. Yahoo Finance's Dan Howley is here with the news coming out of South by Southwest. Dan, should we expect to see some of your cat photos on Instagram get NFT'd?
Oh God, no, not at all. But Mark Zuckerberg, sorry, it's definitely not happening. But Mark Zuckerberg announced at South by Southwest during a discussion that they are going to be bringing NFTs to Instagram, and he said that he hopes to see the app allow people to mint their own NFTs on the platform as well. Now, this fits into kind of Meta's whole spiel about the metaverse and how they want to be able to use NFTs. People would be able to use them on their avatars and then bring them in between different metaverse worlds. So that's really kind of where they're headed as far as the overall company goes. But as far as Instagram goes, it seems as though they're really trying to get on the whole NFT bandwagon, which, obviously was super popular a few weeks back, but, hasn't been making as much news as of late, except for those Bored Apes. I think that kind of really peaked, though, when Jimmy Fallon and Paris Hilton had that cringeworthy discussion on their show, or his show, rather. But, this is something that I think we're going to see more of out of social media companies like Meta or Instagram or Facebook, whichever platform they're going to go by at that point. But it really does seem as though they're going to be pushing that forward. Again, it seems as though this is more about just your photos and your profiles, whereas they're kind of going to use it as a proof of concept as they move forward into using it for the larger metaverse as a whole.
And Dan, real quick, what has user demand looked like for this? How much overlap has there been between the NFT curious and those active on Instagram?
It's interesting because we talk a lot about NFTs, and obviously it gets a lot of press because of the large sums that some of them go for. It's worth pointing out that it's a tiny fraction of them that really do go for large amounts of money, and Bored Ape obviously being one of them. But I don't necessarily know that there's that much uptake from the average Instagram user. I think a lot of them are still very confused as to what exactly an NFT is, or what exactly crypto is to some degree, though maybe there's more literacy there now since it's been around for some time. So, I'm not necessarily sure that the average Instagram user, though, is really looking to get on the NFT bandwagon.
All right, Yahoo Finance's Dan Howley, thanks so much. Well, Emily, Dan was talking about how the average Instagram user feels about all of this, and, I'm an average Instagram user. I feel like, I don't know if you've observed the same thing, but it just feels like the steam has kind of come out of Instagram as of the last, let's say, few years. People aren't posting on Main as much. They're primarily using the stories when they are, but a lot of people are just going over to Snap.
I totally agree, Brian. And I think a lot of times what we've been seeing with Instagram and some of the new features that have been rolled out, think about Reels, of course, think about even going back to Instagram stories and when those were first introduced. It really does feel like that the Meta ecosystem, the Facebook ecosystem, and especially the Instagram platform specifically has been playing catch up with a lot of what's been hyped of the moment. Again, you think about the fact that Instagram had introduced Reels really as a catch up to TikTok, stories as a catch up to Snapchat. And now, of course, with NFT profiles, potentially the ability to mint NFTs on the app really is reminiscent of what we've already seen from Twitter, and the fact that that platform had rolled out the ability for premium users to have NFTs as their own profile picture. So this was pretty light on details when it came to Zuckerberg's announcement at South by Southwest. So we will have to see what form this is ultimately going to be taking out here. But I don't know about you. I am curious to see what they come up with. I don't know what the uptake is going to be on users, as Dan was mentioning, but nonetheless, I think it will be interesting to see what Meta Platforms' first big project in the NFT space and in this ecosystem is going to be.
Yeah, and I think that's the big play here for Meta. It's not necessarily trying to get more users onto Instagram or more active users on Instagram. It's about creating that ecosystem that they hope to incorporate with the metaverse at some point. But I think it does raise the question of what is the purpose of Instagram, and can they make that integration? Because it seemed like at first, Instagram was just supposed to be a broadcast medium, right? You post photos for everyone and anyone to see. You could go live on Instagram, but it seems like the proliferation of Snapchat as a direct kind of medium of communications. Most Gen Zers are primarily using Snapchat instead of iMessage or WhatsApp to communicate. I think that's going to be the big difference here, and I don't know how this story plays out. All I know is that I'm getting fewer likes on Instagram, and I don't know if that's because my photos just stink now, or if that's because there's just fewer people on Instagram, but I don't know. I'll have to research.
I think that's a question a lot of people have been asking themselves, but certainly something we will be watching here. I don't know about you. I definitely haven't been posting on the grid as much. I think that's something Facebook Meta Platforms has been talking about on their earnings calls the past couple of quarters now. So who knows? Maybe this will be something that juices engagement on that platform.